We are here to talk about leadership. When you are a prefect, you are a leader. When you are a teacher, you are a leader. When you are an HOD, you are a leader. When you are a deputy principal, you are a leader. When you are a principal, you are a leader. All those have to do with leadership. It's only that we have various leadership capacities. And for today, we are talking about student leadership. That's why we are talking about student council. Because in your case, you are leading fellow students. You are a student yourself, and at the same time, you are a leader. So let's talk about leadership. And we talk about student leadership, right? But before I talk about the content that I have for us, allow me to take you through a few quotes about leadership. The first one is from somebody called John Maxwell. John Maxwell says, a leader is the one who knows the way, shows the way, and goes the way. That is who a leader is. A leader knows the way, shows the way, and goes the way. So as a leader, you know that this is the way to go. But it's not just about knowing the way. It's not also not about showing the way, but about also going the way. So a leader knows the way, shows the way, and goes the way. So you as a student leader, you know what is right, you show others what is right, and you also do what is right. That is being a leader. Secondly, Warren Bennis talks about leadership is the ability to translate a vision into reality. The ability to translate a vision into reality. That is what a leader does. Now, as a leader, you internalize the vision of striving to excel, and at the end of the day, excellence is our target. Excellence is our goal. Excellence is our end product. Am I right? Yes. So that is what you do as a leader. You are able to translate that vision of excellence into reality. When we celebrate good results, then we will have succeeded as leaders. Thirdly, I also have a quote on the same. Emmanuel Melly says, leadership is the ability to positively influence others to achieve a desired goal. That means there is a desired goal. And you as a leader must be of influence. Because leadership is simply about influence. If you are able to influence 1 or 2 or 3 people, then you are a leader. But now when it talks about influence, it comes in different ways. There is positive influence and there is also negative influence. You can influence somebody to start drinking. You can influence somebody to start abusing drugs. You can influence somebody to go to church. You can influence somebody to get born again. You can influence somebody to go back to school. You can influence somebody to have a girlfriend. Hello? So it is up to you now to choose what kind of influence do you have. So I've said leadership is about influence. Mwisho, Professor Jote Itoti the late, at some point he was a minister for those of us who are aware, once said, leaders do not ask what the country will do for them, but they ask themselves what they will do for the country. That is Professor Jote Itoti the late. May his soul rest in peace. You as a prefect, as a student leader, you will also say during our tenure as student leaders, we did this and this and this. Now, done with the introduction. And like I said as I began, is that to whom much is given, much is expected. That's what the Bible says. So you've been given a responsibility to become student leaders, and at the same time, much is also expected from you. So who are these people that have expectations from you? Definitely, don't write that one. Definitely your teachers, the administration, and the fellow students have expectations from you. And at the same time, your parents and guardians from back home have expectations from you. And of course, your church and wherever you come from, everybody has expectations from you. So the expectations are the following. 1, you're expected to observe school rules and regulations at all times. You're expected to observe school rules and regulations at all times. The fact that you're a prefect does not make you an exception. You still have to abide by the school rules and regulations. You being a student leader, you being a prefect, does not make you a super student. You still remain a student. You still remain a student. So you're expected to follow the school rules and regulations. If it is movement by running, please do it. If it is being at the right place, at the right time, doing the right thing, please do it. If it's about abiding by the school language policy, please abide by that. Secondly, you are expected to be well-groomed at all times. You're expected to be well-groomed at all times. Like I told you, you dress to be addressed. The way you dress is how others will address you or how others will take you. So be well groomed at all times, putting on school uniform. School uniform. The fact that you are the president does not give you the authority of putting on civilian clothes. You are not an assistant teacher, you're still a student. Yeah. So don't come up with other unique uniforms or any other clothing. Be well groomed in the school uniform at all times. Thirdly, have a good academic record. Have a good academic record. Leaders, as I said, lead by example. So, what you're supposed to do in terms of your studies, you're supposed to perform very well. So you're supposed to have a good academic record in terms of your studies. Is that okay? Yeah, have good grades. Possible, get that A, get that B, get that, have a good grade. So that as you speak to others, they can listen to you. So for that reason, you need to perform very well. So that as you're telling people, let us keep quiet, you also keep it quiet. Because I said you lead by example. You lead by example. Next, maintain a proper attendance record. Maintain a proper attendance record. Do not be a chronic absentee. Make sure that you're in school almost all the other time. And you guys are lucky because you're in a boarding school. So being in a boarding school, you're supposed to be in school all the other time. Some other students who are in day schools sometimes have challenges because somebody who goes to school today, the following day they are not in school, the next day they're in school, the next day they are not in school. But at the same time, even those in boarding school, sometimes some of them fake excuses. Well, am I right? Some of them come up with fake excuses. You open school and the next minute you are like, oh, you go home. Then you come back, there are some people who are notorious in that. So you want to kill everybody in your family so that you are home every other time. Because when you talk about them, people will listen to you and you go home. And finally you realize that, I don't know, sometimes you forget. You say nyanyamba alikufa, and then you come back to school next time and you come and say nyanyamba nipakitia pocket money shilingi 50. So you forget that. So sometimes don't use those excuses. Try to be in school all the time, because when you miss school, it really affects your performance and even affects you as a leader. Next, work as a team. Work as a team. We expect you to work as a team. The captain cannot work alone. The class secretary cannot work alone. You work with your other colleagues. Is that okay? I want to believe you normally have your meetings. Yes. Yeah. So when you have those meetings, discuss strategies on how to make your school better. So work as a team. Embrace teamwork. Senior. Yeah, when there's a challenge, consult your colleagues and it shall be well. Second last, observe channels of communication. You are expected to observe channels of communication. There is a way in which things are done in organizations. And even in school, there is a channel of doing things. That is why even in the assembly, there is an order in which people normally speak. Am I right? Who begins? During the assembly, addressing the assembly. The secretary on duty, right? Yes. Yeah, after the secretary on duty, what captain is there? After secretary on duty, we have the captain. After the captain, we have TOD. After TOD, any other teacher with harassment, senior, or an HOD, or whichever, followed by senior teacher, and then deputy. After deputy, next is principal. After principal has spoken, the only other person to speak. The principal has the orders to dismiss the assembly. Same case applies to out here. When the president speaks, after the president has spoken, nobody has to speak. Is that okay? That's what they call channel of communication. So there are even a way in which things are done. If anything is academic matters have a way of being channeled upwards. Is that okay? If there is anything to do with the class, academics, who is the first person to be told? Class teacher. Right? Yes. If there is anything emanating from your class, the class teacher should handle it. After class teacher, if it is escalated to the next level, after class teacher, DOS academics, senior. Yes. After academics, that is when you cannot go to the deputy. After deputy, the principal. After principal, maybe board of management. Lakini kuna watu vierere, a very small thing. A very small thing happens in the dining hall. There is a weevil in Githeri, and you want everybody to know in the village. So you leave the dining hall immediately, straight to the office of the principal. Mwalimu, there's a weevil in Githeri. If there is such a thing, who is the first person who is supposed to know that? Start with the dining hall captain. After the dining hall captain, there's a TOD around with you, senior. Yeah, you know, after that maybe get arrest. Kuna vitu zingine mnamalizanga mpaka principal anakuja anaambiwa baadaye kama story. Is that okay? But sometimes there are people who escalate small issues. So observe channels of communication. And then again, stick to your lane. If you are a class prefect, deal with your matters in class. If you are in charge of the dome, stick to your matters in the dome. Don't overstep in other people's mandates. Is that okay? So observe those channels of communication. And then as you observe channels of communication, also uphold respect. Is that okay? Respect everybody. Ile kazi amepewa, respect yeye ni prefect, yes. Hata kama ni mdogo kimwili, yeye ni prefect. Is that okay? Respect them, let them do their work. If you are there to help, just help, but do not overstep on what they are supposed to be able to do. As a prefect in charge of dining hall, for example, you cannot disrespect cooks. Am I right? You're not supposed to disrespect those cooks. Respect them. Yeah? Respect them. Those are your elders. Those are your parents. Respect them. Respect the caterers. Respect everybody. Respect even the security. But you know, there are some people who feel now that they are prefects, hawa ndio wenye kusema. Kwanza hii title president for student leaders ilileta shida sana. I'm happy that Emmanuel is using the word captain. When they started being called president, some of them harassed for one. Hey, when you see me, salute and say, Your Excellency, sir. And you're just a student like them, senior. Yeah, so don't expect those students to call you Your Excellency. So that is overstepping. So stick to your lanes, do your work, and all shall be well. So those are some of the expectations that you have. And remember, you're still a student. We expect you to perform very well. We expect you to go to the university and pursue a course of your choice. Is that okay? So for you to balance this one, final item there, think of your future. Think of your future. Think of that life after high school. Think about 5 years from now. Think about 10 years from now. Where will you be? This title, a prefect, inaisha na mwaka moja. Am I right? Especially for those of us in Form 4. Next year, at a time like this, where will you be? Definitely you'll be somewhere, isn't you? So you'll just be telling people, I used to be a student leader, I used to be a prefect. That will be past tense. I think of the past. Is that okay? So do not be obsessed with this position. Do your role very well. Think about your future so that you embark on a serious journey of taking your studies seriously. So I want to believe that if you're able to balance this, you will excel both as a leader and also as a student when results come out. Because like I began, I said to whom much is given, much is expected. If there are people that teachers normally ask for their results, among them are the what? The what? The prefects, the student leaders. That is the first, those are among the first people that teachers will ask. Captain alipata ngapi? By the time wanauliza wale wengine ni baadaye. But the first thing they will ask for your results. As a student leader. So as a student counselor, people will always ask for your results. So always remember that and it shall be well.